grand rising to all of you, our listeners and our followers on YouTube. Welcome to our lovely show, the Don Bosco Vibes Youth Network Show. Our topic is mental health and the community or the society. Edward, what is the role of a community in managing mental health?
A community is not just a group of people, A community is a feeling, A community is a group of people you connect with. So there must be a connection with that society,
Yes.
There must be commitment, there must be trust. So you actually build a trust. You actually have a group of people with you. It cannot be a lot of them. It can be 3 or 2.
Yeah.
That can be your community.
Yes.
So in management of mental health, so long as you build trust and connection,
Yes.
people start caring of your well-being. They'll start understanding you at your highs and your lows. So whenever you've got those triggered moments, they'll be able to understand and treat you as is in that moment.
And do you think we're doing enough as a community?
I think as it is now, there's a lot of awareness. But when we narrow it down to individual people, there's a lot of self-isolation as it is. I think that also has been brought about by social media, because it's easy for someone to interact with their phone than interact with somebody else.
Exactly.
And then in as much as we're into these communities, we don't want to be a topic at some point
of discussion.
We don't want to be discussed on social media, because it can be content for somebody else. So that's why a lot of people have been shunning away, and that's the reason why enough have not been done to this point. That's why we're still struggling with issues of depression, suicide, and all, because in as much as we are getting there, but we are not just doing enough to support our friends.
We have been taught to say mental health, every one of us has mental health.
Yes.
And 5 in 6 people has mental illness.
Mental illness, yeah.
You see? So I think it's because we just don't know. Do you think maybe that could be the reason?
When you speak of mental health issues, it's I like to categorize it as a sickness which has got labels. You find that there's somebody who's got an illness, or let me say cancer.
Yes.
There's got levels to cancer.
Yes.
There's level 1, and then there's that, that severe stage. It's an issue of mental health as well. So in as much as this is not treated on time, it gets severe as time goes by. This is where now, as community, we have to come in and try to support our friends. And a lot of factors bring about mental health issues. You find that somebody has been grieving for a long time. That's messing with their head and all. So we have to understand that there are levels to this thing, and it's important the moment we discover that our friend is going through issues and all, we start to support them as a community. The community is a source of support.
Indeed.
Yes.
So are we being a society that is being helpful or unhelpful?
We are a society that's being centered on trends now. There's a trend of self-love now. Self-love doesn't mean that you don't care about your neighbor. And then we're a society of minding our own business as well. We've taken words like being an introvert the wrong way. So there's a lot of things going on, and then these issues are amongst young people.
I recently found out to say, actually even learned people don't know about mental health.
Yes.
And they think somebody is just throwing a rant, or maybe somebody is being dramatic. And I was like, how is it that somebody with an MBA, somebody with a doctorate, even actually doctors themselves, are not aware to say these are mental health illnesses or issues?
So again, the funny part with education is it builds you in a certain way. It won't give you an overview, all the information and knowledge about everything.
Exactly.
If you are getting into a system, that's a system that you go with to your masters and everything. So there are certain things where you just have to, be taught by the community, because there are certain lecturers, our teachers, they are professionals in a field. they are not psychologists, but you find that they are mathematicians.
Yes.
So that's the field they are in.
It's everything to do with mathematics in that sense.
And all. Somebody is learned, but they are not learned in a certain field. That's where now, as a community, we come together and coexist.
Indeed.
That's why you say we are gifted in different ways. So there must be exchange of information rapidly. In as much as you are learning as a mathematician, as a psychologist, as an accountant, also you have to have knowledge of these common things and all, so that you coexist as a community.
What is the impact of mental health in our society?
The impact is severe. The impact is severe. We cannot have, as I mentioned earlier, a healthy community if we don't address the issue of mental health. There's sometimes where you just judge somebody based on their behavior at that moment. We are so judgmental when it comes to things we don't really understand. So they should be need to seek a lot of information, and I think, as I said, we are not addressing this as much as we can. When we look at our society now, we've got a lot of young people who are abusing drugs. That's an impact of mental health. You find that they don't have jobs. They are under pressure and they feel like, okay, if I feel high, if I feel dizzy, I'll be okay. So also those people have to be sat down and try to educate them and mentor them and say, okay, you can be resourceful in these other ways.
How can we help our society have a good mental health?
At times also shouldn't change because of how we've been treated by other people. You don't stop being a nice person just because somebody did you bad, because you're going to affect other people who are not even involved.
Exactly. I can attest to that.
So you might find somebody who genuinely likes you, who genuinely loves you, who
and you end up
abusing them. But you end up abusing them. So these are the things now, the older generation, or maybe these are the things that they should be communicated to and say, if you have been broken, there is still a chance that you get up and still pull through. So long as you find, a perfect community for it. It's not everyone is the same. We are built different.
Exactly.
Not everyone is the same. Not everyone has the same. The way we're different on our faces. That's how we are different. In as much as we bleed the same blood and all.
So Edward, as we wind up, your last words?
As an individual, you have to, navigate around yourself and try to understand yourself in the first place before you're understood by other people. Because there are a lot of us young people who haven't found, ourselves, and also spend time with people who are way ahead of you in age, because most of these situations, these are not new situations. So you have to build a community with those people for the sake of your own mental health. I would like to quote my brother. He likes saying, it's not being negative to prepare for the worst. Because if the worst happened in that moment, you will be able to
You'd have been built for it.
Yes, you have built for it, and your mental is ready to navigate around that situation.
Great.
And then don't be too expectant in life.
Thank you so much. I think that is one thing that also triggers us, is because we expect so much from other people.
Yes.
And the reason is simple. I still take it back. Is because we don't give it.
Yes.
You can't expect what you don't give. And the lesser you expect, the more happier you are.
You are.
So for me, that will be it. And
Don Bosco quote for today is, you being young is enough for me to love you.
yes.
So you don't have to be something else, just be young. We'll be able to love you as Don Bosco Vibes. We can be your community. So you can connect with us, as I mentioned, on our Facebook. You can connect with us on our YouTube. And also, we'll be coming up with these social events, and you can come through and just share your experience and connect with everyone. Otherwise, we are a community full of love.
Edward, high five. It's been amazing having you. for us to improve our mental health or have a good mental health society, please be love, give love, be love. And as we end, my name, yours truly, your presenter, Judith Angolutembanga. Join us on our next episode, on our next show. Is bye-bye.